when we put ourselves forward, we have to be prepared for what comes with it. So tonight, it is my pleasure to invite you to join me to give a round of applause for all our outgoing candidates. I will begin and invite to join us on stage the Honorable Senator Nichols Esprit. Shanks not dancing, but Shanks not deadly dancer, you know. But Nichols Esprit, as we all know him as Shanks, made his contribution to the Dominica Labour Party by standing for us and with us in a very difficult seat. A seat that he made himself available to run for the Dominica Labour Party twice. And that is the Salisbury constituency. We thank you, Comrade Shanks, for your selfless service, for coming to Labour and standing strong as a loyal soldier, always ready for battle. We thank you. And he's my student, so you have to, always be nice to me. It is my pleasure to go to the east and to invite on stage the Honorable Kent Edwards of the La Plaine constituency. Kent Edwards was a well-known, beloved pharmacist before he decided to enter into representative politics. Kent Edwards was a man, and is a man, I should say, that was well known in the constituency of La Plaine. He decided to sacrifice his career as a pharmacist to make himself available in the service of the people of the La Plaine constituency. He was elected in 2019, and he has served us well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Kent Edwards. We move to the West Coast, back to the West Coast. And this time we move to the constituency of Collyho. Lady Catherine Daniel. Lady D served us well. Lady D left her retirement as an educator to put herself in the service of the people of the Collyho constituency in 2014 and again in 2019. Brothers and sisters, let us thank Lady D for her service and making a sacrifice for the Dominica Labour Party. Move to the south. My neighbor, a fellow was threatening me to block the road so I cannot pass through his constituency to go to mine. Dr. Kenneth Daru of the Pidit-Savan constituency. He shall not be moved. And I want to take the time to speak a little about Dr. Daru. I met him as a young man, a young doctor. I wouldn't tell you about the circumstances. All I'll tell you is I jeer him and tell him get out of my office when I was Minister of Education. No man is my good friend now. We made up so long. My neighbor. But Dr. Daru was a very ambitious young medical doctor. And he came to me because he wanted to go back to Cuba to specialize. But he made the sacrifice and to put aside his ambitions of further studies to make himself available to the people of the Pidit-Savan constituency. And tonight, I want you to join me in thanking Dr. Kenneth Daru for his service to the Piddisaban constituency and the Dominica Labour Party. So let's move on. Let's go to the north. Let's go to the north. And I want to introduce tonight a very gentle lady, a lady who has served as a community organizer not only in her community of Paybush, but throughout Dominica. Rosalind Paul! Rosalind Paul consented to leave her private, quiet life and to make herself available to the service of her people. And she has served for 2 terms in the Paybush constituency, and we are grateful for her service. Let us go back to the West Coast. My neighbor and friend, a man with whom I entered politics. We ran in 2000 when things were bad for Labour. You remember, I see Tope there. Tope, remember? They used to call us Labour powder. Remember that? They used to call us Labour powder. We had no force. We were weak. And Rayburn Blackmore sacrificed his career as a rising star in the Dominica Police Force. He was a sergeant at the time. A man who undoubtedly one day would have become the chief of police. He gave that up to put himself in the service of the people. He lost the first time around, but he won 4 consecutive elections for the Dominica Labour Party in the Mao constituency. And tonight, we are grateful, we are thankful for the service of Rayburn Blackmore. Labour Party shall not be moved. Yeah, and I forgot to tell you, he's the best dancing paddle rap ever. Boy. Hey! 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 All right, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Enough respect. We move back to the north. We move back to the north. And tonight, we have felt the power of Labour. And that has been brought so far to us by a giant of the north. Ian Douglas. That planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to say some words about Ian Douglas. Ian is one of the paddle reps who found himself thrust into the politics by a very, very, very sad occasion. You recall the loss of our Prime Minister and political leader, Rosie Douglas, in 2000. Ian, as a young lawyer who was beginning to make his way and to develop his practice, had no choice but to follow the footsteps of his grandfather RBD, his father Mike Douglas, our former political leader, and his uncle Rosie Douglas. And he has served the Portsmouth constituency for 5 consecutive terms. We thank you, Comrade Ian, for your service. We continue in the north, and we are moving along. But I don't want to go to that giant of the north still. He's too big, he's too strong, and he might want to sing a song for us. But at first I find he come a little copa with us since he get the thing, you know, in the independence. He tell me when I call him Reginald V. Austri, D-A-H, as aforesaid. Why not calling him yet? I'm waiting for him. But before we get down to the north, I want to make a little cruise down the west coast. And I have to speak about a very dear friend of mine who unfortunately traveled and had difficulties finding a way back. But sometimes, as I said, politics can take a heavy toll on us. And some of us sacrifice more than others. Dr. Addis King came to us as a specialist medical doctor. She made the sacrifices as an ambitious young person to pursue further studies so that she could become a specialist. And soon thereafter, she heeded the call to serve the constituency of St. Joseph in 2019. Tonight, we want to thank her for her service, and she will continue to be part of the Dominica Labour Party and the Dominica Labour Party government, because she has served as a minister with distinction, and we are grateful for her service. As we continue, next door, in Rosa North, while Mr. telling me I'm talking too much, boys, me not running the program. Okay, no, I have to go to Rosa North. My good friend, the current Speaker of the Parliament of Dominica, I would like to invite on stage and thank for his service, the Honorable Joseph Isaac.
By the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved.
I have a lot of respect for Joseph Isaac. Not only because he was a star athlete in grammar school and I wanted to run like him, not only because he pursued studies in a field that I always wanted to pursue as an engineer, but because he came to join the Dominica Labour Party because he felt that the Dominica Labour Party was the best thing for Dominica. And he stayed with us, and he worked with us. And today we want to thank him for his service as he make way for a new candidate in the Roseau North. Comrade Isaac, thank you, thank you, thank you. Finally, as we move to the north, to the Cottage constituency, I would like to invite on stage the Honorable Reginald Austri. Thank you very much. Before, obviously, a few days ago, you had the full biography of Reginald Austrie, of his great achievements. But I will add tonight that he is the longest serving member of parliament in this parliament, in the Dominica Labour Party, and I suspect in Dominica. He came into politics as a young man, and he stayed with Labour through very, very, very difficult times. And all of us here tonight, on this stage, in this government, we stand on the shoulders of Reginald Austrie as a true giant of the Dominica Labour Party. He didn't abandon Mike, he didn't abandon Ruzi, he stayed there and he labored in the vineyard. So Reggie, thank you very much for making all of this possible tonight. We thank you for your service. So ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again. Let's hear it again for all of our outgoing candidates. Let me hear you.
Blinded by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved.